I remember the first night I went to the club to dance, it was funny to me that they gave us an application. I was like, what are the prerequisites for being a stripper? Like, what do you need to do?
When Shay Nielsen stepped onto the strip club stage, she had come a long way from the sheltered life she knew as a young girl.
I was raised by my mom and my stepfather. My grandfather was a pastor all of my childhood. Growing up with a grandpa that was a pastor set the tone in my family for peace and for love and accountability.
She was always known as the quiet good girl, but when she started a new school in her late teens, she was drawn in by the lifestyles of gangbangers and drug dealers.
Sell drugs and package drugs. Ooh, I felt like a bad girl. It felt good. You know, I kind of liked the feeling of not being the obedient child and not doing what I have to do all the time.
When she finished school and moved out, she was ready to embrace a life with no restrictions. During the day, she worked as a body piercer. At night, she was drinking, partying, and popping ecstasy pills.
Drugs helped me to open up. I was always a shy person, always reserved, always kind of insecure, always felt a little unworthy. So drugs made me feel like I can, you know? They made me feel like Superwoman.
Her addiction caused her to miss work often, and eventually she was fired. A friend told her she could make good money stripping.
The light turns on, and I'm ready to go.
Even going in was like, now yet a different part of my mind had opened in a different part of the world that I had never experienced. And I talked to the lady and I'm like, how much money do they make? And she tells me and I'm like, oh yes, I can do this. About $300 to $400 a night.
But stripping wasn't as glamorous as she expected.
To get on the stage butt naked in front of complete strangers, it takes you to a place of you feel devalued. I couldn't be sober because I could hear the voice in my head saying, what are you doing? You know, you're worth so much more than this. So I asked one of the girls, you know, like, what should I do to kind of make myself not so shy to get on the stage? She's like, try cocaine. So once cocaine came into the play, it's like cocaine all night, sleep all day. Get up, do it again.
At 22, Shay got pregnant. The thought of having a child gave her hope, so she quit using drugs, drinking, and dancing. But 34 weeks into her pregnancy, she lost the baby and sank into depression. To numb the pain, she binged on cocaine for 3 days with friends.
I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. My mom and my sister, they're gonna come find me and all they're gonna remember me by is a stripper that was on drugs.
She drove herself to the emergency room to get help.
I didn't want to die, so I called on the only person that I know who could save me. God, if you are real, and that was my prayer. If you are real, and if you are there, and if you are listening, if you keep me alive, don't let me die, I will never touch cocaine again. And that was my promise, and I kept my word. The grace of God allowed me to walk out of that hospital.
Sobered up, Shay had time to think about her life.
I've been a stripper. I've been on drugs. I've been a party girl. I've been involved in some of the wildest sexual escapades you can imagine. What am I gonna do now? And I heard and I felt this small, still voice inside of me saying, go to church. And I'm like, I guess I can go to church.
She says every sermon felt like a personal message from God to her, so she kept going.
And then one Sunday he preached a sermon where he said, you know, we need to pray and we need to ask God to reveal our own hearts to ourselves. And I prayed that prayer, God, reveal my heart, reveal me to me, show me who I am. Everything that I had done in my life, the mirror was turned on me and I can see it through the eyesight of God and it hurt me. And I asked Jesus to come into my heart and to forgive me for all the wrong and the sins that I had committed. He healed every wound that I had. I felt accepted, I felt loved, and it made me feel complete.
Shay is still drug-free. Today, she's married to Coulter and raising their 2 daughters. She's also a writer. She shares her story in her book called My Mess Became My Message.
I look in the mirror and I see somebody who is redeemed. You know, I see Shay, who Jesus loves. I see Shay, the wife. I see Shay, the mother. I don't see all the remnants of my past are dead, and Jesus came and he turned my life totally around from the inside out. There is hope for us all. God is right here and he's waiting to give us his love to come in and show us. All we have to do is be serious and say, Jesus, show me who you are.